So I came across this story on my Facebook timeline. One of my friends on Facebook had shared it, and this directly affects a lot of people, me included, for the simple fact that I will be getting my master's from an HBCU, Texas Southern University, and Trump, this warmonger, he's on the warpath again, and his reasoning behind why he wants to get rid of financing for HBCUs is ridiculous. It says Trump suggests financing for historically black colleges may be unconstitutional. Trump signaled Friday that he may not implement a 25-year-old federal program that helps historically black colleges finance construction projects on their campuses, suggesting that it may run afoul of the Constitution. How? I'm not sure how that would be unconstitutional. First of all, black people aren't even considered in the Constitution. Therefore, how is it unconstitutional? In a signing statement on the $1.1 trillion omnibus government spending bill, Trump singled out the historically black college and university capital financing program as an example of provisions in the funding bill that allocate benefits on the basis of race, ethnicity, and gender. So do most of these other colleges, these white colleges. Like, what is your point? Trump said his administration would treat these programs in a manner consistent with the requirement to afford equal protection of the law under the Due Process Clause of the Constitution's Fifth Amendment. Previous presidents, including Barack Obama and George W. Bush, often issued such statements when they signed legislation to signal they may ignore or disregard parts of laws passed by Congress. In his first signing statement, Trump outlines a range of provisions in the spending bill that he says would unconstitutionally limit his authority as commander in chief, and indicates that where the bill conflicts with the White House interpretation of the president's powers under the Constitution, he will go with the Constitution. Neither the White House nor the Education Department immediately responded to a request for comment. Trump's statement also suggests concern about programs listed under the School Improvement Program section of the budget. These include a wide range of education-related programs such as after-school initiatives and programs that support Native Hawaiian and Alaska Native education. And see, that's the thing that I was thinking that he was going to start, fucking with next, is minority schools. A lot of minority schools are charter schools, and it's funny because I just sat down in a staff meeting at my school, and they were talking about how teachers now have to be certified in order to work there. And the problem with charter schools is that a lot of the teachers are not certified, and those who are certified end up leaving the school. And also, certified teachers don't want to work at charter schools because of pay, lack of resources, and a bunch of other things. Now, with him doing all of this, is he going to do away with the school lunch program? Because the school lunch program is mostly in those inner city schools that have mostly minorities. Advocates for HBCUs and legal experts said they were confused by the reference to the HBCU financing program. Cheryl Smith, Senior Vice President of Public Policy and Government Affairs at the United Negro College Fund, which advocates for private HBCUs, said in a statement that the organization is puzzled by this provision and seeking clarification from the White House as to its meaning. Smith noted that the federal designation of an institution as an HBCU is not based on race, but rather on mission, accreditation status, and the year the institution was established. A lot of these HBCUs, if y'all don't know what that stands for, historically black colleges and universities, these schools were built during the time of segregation where black people could not go to the same colleges and universities as white people. That's how these schools were founded. And now they want to integrate these HBCUs, which I've gone to some HBCUs, not as a student, but I've gone to some, and They're integrated, and that's what they want to do. Now, me myself, for my undergrad degree, I did not go to a HBCU. However, I wish that I had. It says, she speculated that the signing statement may simply be the Office of Management and Budget being overly cautious and perhaps not fully understanding this important distinction as it relates to HBCUs, but UNCF needs more information regarding their thinking and intent. Under the program, which was created by Congress in 1992, the Education Department provides federally backed loans to historically black colleges and universities for the construction of buildings and other facilities. The bill provides $20 million in federal loan subsidies in fiscal year 2017 to support as much as $282 million worth of financing to the schools. Derek W. Black, a law professor at the University of South Carolina School of Law who studies constitutional and educational law, called Trump's reference to the HBCU program rather odd. I don't find it odd given who Trump is. He wants to do away with anything that benefits minorities, especially black people. So this is not out of character for him. And like I said, I'm not surprised that he's doing it. If Congress is validly spending money on these programs and there's no court finding or litigation suggesting discrimination, the idea that the executive would unilaterally not allocate those funds would be a rather momentous position to take, Black said. Although Congress and the president have long tussled over war powers in signing statements, for example, Black said he thought it was very unusual that the statement alluded to apparent discrimination in education programs. The administration is basically putting us on notice that they think there might be a problem, and therefore they might have to exercise judgment in these programs. He also said it was unusual that the statement referenced only race, ethnicity, and gender. Why stop there? If you're worried about the allocation of benefits in unfair ways, why not add other things like religion or disability? Trump wants to talk about, is discrimination because these are called historically black colleges and universities. You have to think about the fact that a lot of these white colleges, especially older white colleges, were built on the backs of black people. So you're saying that an HBCU is discrimination. What about these white colleges that got their funding from selling slaves? That's how they were able to stay, in business. And then they want to sit here and have guilt about it. That's why a lot of these white colleges, they accept black people from these poor inner city schools. And I found this out when I was actually working as a college and career counselor at a high school. A lot of these prestigious white colleges, they tend to accept black people who are from inner city schools because they can give them the most loans and put them in the most debt. And it's not just black people, it's minorities, period, blacks and Hispanics. They want to take those who are from these poor schools, from these poor cities, and put them in these expensive ass colleges and put them in so much debt. Therefore, they either drop out of school, or if they do finish their degree, they can't get a job. And then they can't buy a house because they're in all this debt. Like, they can't afford to do anything. And my thing is, if he's going to stop funding these HBCUs, then he needs to stop funding for these white colleges that are still in business because of slavery. That's how I feel. You can't come in here and change, a program that's been around for a long time. He wants to come in and just change everything that's always been in place. Why? My thing is it him or is it his puppet masters who are wanting to do this? Because you can't sit here and tell me that it's not. Tell me what y'all think in the comments below.